Perek, within the Perek Zion. And on Thursday I gave you a shiur. What was the shiur about? That there's really two madreges in Eilav Leila Midesav. That was the teichen of the shiur. That there's two madreges in Eilav Leila Midesav. Our Maimer is discussing Eilav Leila Midesav. Our Maimer is discussing Eilav Leila Midesav in the sense that you have to be yedim lechavim b'shem, right? You know the kavana, right? You know the kavana of the shemis. You're speaking to the Eibishter. You're not chas v'shalom speaking to the midas. But as the mashal is, you're asking to eat the melech for an adava when he's in the base of eitzer. You're speaking to the Eibishter kvayachal where the shayches to certain midas. So you should be able to get a certain hashpah. Because if you come to the melech when he's learning divrei chochma and you ask him for an adava, so then the Rebbe's lashon is you have to have schus gadol v'atzum kvayachal. The Eibishter kvayachal, it's called kvayachal. You're using a name, a shame of the Eibush, which has to do with Chochma, that he should go away from his Chochma and give you an adava of this. You need his chus gadol v'yatzim. Thursday we learned there's another madrege in Eilav Leila Midesav, but this is the Pashtus. Eilav Leila Midesav means Atzmus. Eilav Leila Midesav means the Eibush himself. And sometimes a person davens and you don't have to have any kavanah. Correct? That's what he said. Ve'ed yesh pirush eilav leila midesav. 5 lines from the end of Perek Zion on page 234. The Ha'inal Musa but Musis Barach Mamash K'mei Shulam Ayel Masapsed Midesav for your mitzvahs Kishma. Now, in the shiur that I gave you on Thursday, I explained it to you based on the story of Chana. That Chana's tefillah was considered a haftzora, a nujerai, and she says to Eli HaKoyin, it's not nujerai, it's Shas Ruach and Shvicha Hishtapchas HaNefesh. It's a davar metzam neshama. And of course, she gets what she asks for, like the story continues. And the Rebbe says in the Sikha, this is the Sikha from Rosh Hashanah, why do we say Tfilas Chana in Rosh Hashanah? So the Rebbe says we say Tfilas Chana in Rosh Hashanah because Tfilas Chana is like the day. Besides for the Gemara says that Rosh Hashanah, Nifkid and Chana and all the rest, it's because the Rosh Hashanah's davening is on this higher level. Rosh Hashanah, we're all holding in the madrega of Eilav Leila Midesav, higher than the midas, and we therefore say the nevuah of Chana because she davened on this madrega, on the madrega of Eilav Leila Midesav, which is higher than the hislapshus of the midas. This was the nekud of the shiur that I gave you Thursday. Okay. So I told you then that I want to sort of follow up with one more nekudah. It's a bissel gedrickt. I'm squeezing a little. I think that what I'm going to share with you is emes, but I think what I'm telling you is emes, but I'm a little bit squeezing it into the words, a little bit. According to what we said on Thursday, Yedim lechavim b'shem goes on hakbala. If you're davening to the Eibishter, not on a level of Hishtapchas HaNefesh, and if you're davening to the Eibishter, not about things which are negeh be'etzim, right? I told you Thursday, I put it on the question sheet, that there's 2 things about Chana. There's how she davened, and what she davened for. You have to have both of them. You cannot daven from Yechidah Shebenefesh for a Cadillac or whatever the newest cars. I realize when I say Cadillac, I'm dating myself. Nobody talks about Cadillacs anymore, right? There's much more updated cars that cost a lot more money, etc., etc. Yeah, you can only daven on a level of Yechidah for an Inyan Atzmi. And that's the story of Chana. She's davening for a child because she knows this is the reason her neshama came into this world. So this is an Inyan Atzmi for goes to Retzam HaNefesh. That's why it doesn't even finish Tapchas HaNefesh. But see, in any case, it comes out from the Shir of Thursday that if a person, that the reason there has to be Yedim Lechavim B'Shem is because when a Madrega of Medida Vagbala. Or to say it different, yeah? I gave you in Thursday's Shir a Vort, and I started it on Wednesday yet, that there is Neshamis that we say that Lamailo Meged El V'Tachton. There's Neshamis that don't need Matan Torah. Avram Avinu doesn't need Matan Torah. Usually we say there's a Ma'aseh Gzeira and Bittul Gzeira. But then we say no, there's certain Neshamis that we say there's a Chatchila no Gzeira. They're Lamailo Meged El V'Tachton. And these Neshamis that are Lamailo Meged El V'Tachton, you could almost say you don't need Torah mitzvahs. Why? If you serve Hashem on a level of Mesiras Nefesh, there's no need for Torah mitzvahs. So kumtais that Bittul Gzeira and Matan Torah has to do with Medida Vagbala. If every Yid is in a Madrega Mesiras Nefesh, you could make the case you don't have to have Matan Torah. And I'll tell you, if every Yid is davening on a level of Yechidah Nefesh, from Yonam Atzmim, you don't have to have Lechavim B'Shem. In other words, I made a comparison between this whole question of Lechavim B'Shem and not Lechavim B'Shem with Bittul Gzeira and not Bittul Gzeira. It's based on a Chassaron. Since people can't serve Hashem a level of infinity, so they made a Bittul Gzeira. Since Yidden can't daven to Reibish on a level of Stap Chassan Nefesh, so Reibish gave us Kavanas Hashemis. That's sort of a svara that you could ask on Thursday Shir. It's a good kasha. And I want you to know the simple teres to this kasha is Ein Achanami. You know, one of the most interesting things about Torah, right? I teach us to the Achatmim and Bacharim. We have shiurim on this whole thing a little bit, yeah? There's a world. Yeah? How is the world supposed to go? What's the optimum way the world is supposed to go? And of course, the answer to that question is the optimum way the world is supposed to go is like it does in Torah. The Eibishter gave us rules. The Eibishter gave the whole world rules. We live according to the Torah. We make the world be inconsistent with Torah. So it's not just that you're fulfilling the Eibishter's kavanah. It's the best thing for the world. Yeah. So when I talked to the shiurim that I gave the Baruch of Machet Mimim, I said to him, so what does the Eibishter want? If you say that the optimum way for this world to go is that there should be people following Torah, so the first thing I say is not everybody's the same. Not everybody's the same. This idea of parity, alles on the gleich is nicht emes. What's the raya? Hashem has one nation. The world has 70 nations or 71 nations, and the Eibishter chose one and he gave them the Torah. Now you could scream racist and you could scream Vodavillst. Oh, but they shake the Torah, right? Unless you're prepared to change the Torah, which is foolish. As they shake the Torah, the Eibishter has a nation. He chose us more than other nations. Why is it fair and why is it right and why is it not racist? It's a commentator to Mishabedava. The first tenet is any guy who wants to become a Yid. Any guy who wants to become a Yid. But he has to do it not because he's going to get more money or he's going to marry this person or he's going to move into a different neighborhood, but because he wants to be Mekush B'dat Mesein Sav. Any guy who wants to become a Yid. And of course the halachas of Gedus we all know and the history of Gedus we all know. But anybody wants it? B'hashenis. It's not the pshat. The Eibishter gave Torah mitzvahs to Yidden and Goyim can do what they wish. Goyim have Sheva mitzvahs v'choli, right? So it's the Eibish, but the bottom line is this: if you look at the Eibishter's plan in his world is not everybody's the same. The liberal modern idea of everybody is equal and you have to take down borders is heipachatei. It's not true. I'll be telling the separations. I gave the boys a share now, Pachas Emet, that not only is there an atav v'chatonis division Yid mit Goyim, there's atav v'chatonis division Kainim mit Leviyim and Leviyim mit Yisraelim and Kain Gadol and Skan Kain. Hashem did not make the Jewish people that we should all do exactly the same thing. It's not what He made. So the Eibishter, in His wisdom, He made the world. He made it according to His plans and to His blueprint. His design is different people do different things. But then there's another side of this coin. The other side of this coin is mamish min hakotz el hakotz. The Eibishter did not want tzaddikim. Beferish not. He chose the people. Chose the nation. But He didn't choose righteous people. He didn't choose Avraham Yitzchak. He had Avraham Yitzchak and Yankiv. By the way, before Avraham Yitzchak and Yankiv, another dimension. There was a Shem, and there was a Neach, and there was a Charech, and there was a Moshe Shalach, and there was another dimension. He wanted a nation. He took Avraham Avinu's children, put them in Mitzrayim, almost completely destroyed them, because he wanted an Am, right? Or a Tzibur, like it says in the Chassidus. And a Tzibur is Tzadikim, Benyin, and Rishayim. The Eibishter needs a Yid HaRosha. So there's two sides to this. It doesn't make any sense. Mitad echad, you say, wait a minute, the Eibishter did not make the world, everybody should be the same. V'haraya, he chose one nation of other nations. We're going this week to Matan Torah. Yeah, today's Rosh Chodesh. Tomorrow is called Yom HaMiyuchas. Tomorrow's our Yichas. What's my Yichas? The Eibishter said you're different than the Goyim. In other words, you want to know when Yod the Sin Elam, it's tomorrow. Beis Siv, it's Changei Mala Problem. The Eibishter separate one nation from all the other nations. But on the other hand, when he separated a nation, he didn't separate the good guys, the Chassidish Bachrim. It's Tzadikim, Beininim, Rishoyim. It's a whole nation. A ganze folk. And the Eibishter is concerned with the biggest Rasha, just like he's concerned with the biggest Tzadik. So the Eibishter is funny. Yeah? Mitzad echad, he says, all people are not equal. And Mitzad Hasheni, he says, all Yidden are exactly equal. This is the duality of it. Mitzad echad, the Eibishter says, Ata b'chatonim mikol ha'amim. Mitzad Hasheni, the Eibishter says, a Yid is a Yid, Afa B'Shechata Yisrael, who all the other things that we say about Yidden, no matter what a Yid does, he's considered the Eibishter's choshev, wichtigste Zach. No. So then, based on what I just said, you can understand why there's a need for a bit like Zayna. And based on what I just said, you can understand why there's a need for Yedim L'chavim B'Shem. The Eibishter does not want a few tzaddikim lach. Right? The Eibishter did not create a world for Avraham Avinu. He created the world for all of us, even the biggest Rasha. And to this end, he gave us Teiru mitzvahs with a bit like Zayda. What's bit like Zayda? Quote, all you have to do is a mitzvah gashmis. Anybody can do a mitzvah. Yeah? Any Yid, the Rebbe spoke about this so many times, any Yid does any mitzvah, he's mekusha with atzvah, supposed to take the biggest Rasha. You put film on with him one time. He had to put a nickel in a pushka. So the Rebbe quoted the Tanya Perek of Hey, that was very emotional. And he said, of an Ewigkeit. It's an eternity. Of an Ewigkeit. There's a bond between the Yid and the Eibishter, which is infinite. Of an Ewigkeit. It's a forever. So, listen to me what I'm saying, yeah? I made a comparison between one thing and another. Our Maimid is talking about the idea of Yedim L'Chav Hashem. You want the Eibishter to daven, to answer your tefillas. When you say Hashem, or Elokeinu, or Tzvokes, or Keil, or Shakai, or Adnai, or Ekya, or Havaya, you should know the Kavanah. Why? Because the Eibishter is only going to answer you if you go to him and ask him for an adava when he's in a Beis HaEitzah. Not when he's in a Beis HaChochmah. Right? And al derech zeh, why did the Eibishter make a bit like Gzeira? The Eibishter made a bit like Gzeira because not every Yid is Adam Rishon, and not every Yid is Avraham Avinu, or Yid is holding him, and they can consider Nefesh. You could say, her, he's Lamayla Megad Elim B'Tachten. If you're Lamayla Megad Elim B'Tachten, you have a connection to Atzma Sein Sof. There's no Medidas V'Agbolas V'Chulu V'Chulu. Okay, that was a very drawn-out question, okay? What I just said took about probably 10 minutes. I don't know how I'm talking for a while. But it was a very drawn-out question. Because it was a drawn-out question, you may have even forgotten that it's a question, or you never knew it's a question. So I'm going to repeat the question in a few words. And the few words are, can you say that the only reason for Yedim L'Chavim B'Shem is because Yidden are not on a high enough madrega to daven without it? Maybe, be'emes, you shouldn't have Yedim L'Chavim B'Shem. If we're all on a high enough level, means atzmas. But because we're not holding this, okay, Yedim L'Chavim B'Shem. And I'll repeat the question again in the mashal. Can we say that the only reason for Bittul Gzeira is because Yidden can't serve Hashem on a level of Mesiras Nefesh? But if we serve the Hashem on a level of Mesiras Nefesh, then we wouldn't need it. Now, I need somebody to tell me that they're listening to me and then they understood my question. Huh? Yeah, Menachem Leslie, you're listening? Verstanden de Kasche? Say again.
Huh? Is just nefesh shacht every single year, not only to big people.
I know, but it's not shaykhis b'chol yom v'yom, and b'chol rega v'rega, and b'chol evareim kulam. The Aves were in a state of merkava. Kol evareim, kol yameim kulam. A yid is shaykhis to the kudav mesiras nefesh. But a regular person is a regular life. So I want to give you another way to look at it. Okay? I want to give you another way to look at it. And the other way to look at it is to say that even the biggest tzaddikim, even a yid who's holding by Eilav Aleilam Midesa, means Atmos, has to be Mechavan B'Shem. And even a yid whose quote, Lamayla Megeder, Elyin V'Tachton, has to do a mitzvah maises, Gashmis, okay? Uba I want to tell you a word. It's one of my favorite Chassidish Veriter. People are telling me that there's historical details of this word that make the word impossible to be true, the way it goes, and it's alles gewusst, what geworden b'shuge schnell. But here's the word. The word is that they say that the Ruzhiner was a little boy. Saul was a little boy, he was a Yosem. And he traveled in a wagon with his older brother, from the Rabbichir. I think that there was such was abgegeben, ich wende Baditchever. I think the Baditchever spent time. I could be wrong, maybe the question. They were one of the big tzaddikim, one of the Talmidei Amagid, and they heard that the Alter Rebbe is passing on the same road. The Rishna was 6 or 7, so they stopped the wagons and they brought the 2 children to see the Alter Rebbe. The Alter Rebbe was a Talmud of their Elter Zayde, right? Their father was with Shalom Drabitcher. His father was Avram the Malach. His father was the Mizitcher Magid. So the Alter Rebbe was a Talmud of their Elter Zayde, and there was a lot of gewaldige mutual respect. So they took these 2 Kindalach and eingebracht zum Alten Rebbe. The Rishon was much younger. The Rishon was mamish little. The Rishon used to say about himself that he was never a child. They never had a malamed for shidne Sachen. And the Rishon says to the Alter Rebbe, when a Yid says, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad, how could you possibly say V'ahavta? A Yid declares, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. What's Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad? Ein Eid Mulvade, nothing exists, right? If Ein Eid Mulvade, if nothing exists, included in nothing is me, I don't exist either. If nothing exists and I don't exist, how do you say V'ahavta? We all know from Tanya that the Yesod of Abbas Hashem is Yesh. Yesh Mishayef, right? You love the Eibishter because you're a Matthias. So the Rush has to push it to Kasha. If a Yid says Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, how could you become the mitzvah of V'ahavta? V'ahavta is based on Yesh Mishayef. You just said Achz Hashem. Now, of course, for me and you, this is not such a big Kasha. Why? Because we take and say Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, but somehow we remain a Matthias. But for the Ruzhiner, at the age of 6 or 7, it was a Kasha. So the Alter Rebbe answered him, that's why you say Baruch Shem K'em Chosel Elavod. What's the pshat in the teretz? The pshat in the teretz is, you step away from Yichud Elah. Imagine, Alter Rebbe says to a boy who's holding by Yichud Elah, you step away from Yichud Elah, you go down to the Madrega of Yichud Elah. That's like Baruch Shem K'em Chosel Elavod. So they should be able to Mekayim the mitzvah V'ahavta. Alter Rebbe is saying to the Ruzhiner, yeah, most people don't have your problem. Most people's problem is that they're a yesh, that they're mitzias. Your problem is that when you say V'ahavta, when you say Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, you're holding by Ein Eid Mulvade. I see you don't understand the high mitzvah Hashem. Alter Rebbe says, you know what Hashem? Go away from Yichud Elah. Go down to Madregi Yichud Tata. In other words, Klayachal. Be a shtickle mitzias, so you should be able to Mekayim the mitzvah of Hashem. This is the story, the word. And of course, the end of it is, when the kids walked away, the Alter Rebbe turned to the Chassidim, and he said, this little boy just asked a question, none of you even understand the kasha. Alter Rebbe was very nispo. As they gave the mice. Now, recently, I've been telling this story for years. I forgot where I read it and I saw it. Somebody came to me with a big hayitochen that the story can't be true because of a sicha from the Friedrich Rebbe about the age of the Rishon. So I don't know. But this is a story the Chassidim did say. So I feel the mice is nicht emes, but the word is an emes. Now, what do we learn from this story? We learn from this story that the Eibishter gave mitzvahs. The Eibishter gave mitzvahs to the biggest tzaddikim. And some of the biggest tzaddikim, in order for them to be Makayim, some of the mitzvahs have to go down from Yichud Elah and go down to Yichud Tata, because that's the Kavanah. Hashem wants that we should do mitzvahs. And because Hashem wants to do mitzvahs, if you're such a tzaddik that you're holding in a madreg of Yichud Elah, and a madreg of Yichud Elah, you cannot be Mekayim mitzvahs Avas Hashem. Avas Hashem begins with Yesh. Zok dir Teire, go away from Yichud Elah, go down to Yichud Tata, so you should be Mekayim the mitzvah Avas Hashem. And the same is true here. The Eibishter made bittul agzerah. Right? Let's use the mushal. The Eibishter made bittul agzera. The Eibishter made bittul agzera. What's bittul agzera? What's bittul agzera? That Yidden should do mitzvahs, maisis, begashmias. And it says in Tanya Perek Yud, there's a Kedesh, that mitzvahs are dafka limited and they're very mugul betzumtzum, or to say it in plain English, to do a mitzvah is not that difficult. It's not. But it's what the Eibishter wants. If you're a Yid who's holding an adrega of Mesiras Nefesh, and because you're a adrega of Mesiras Nefesh, to quote the Lashon of the Sicha, quote, you're l'mayla megeder al b'tacht, and you didn't need a bit like Zera, says the Eibishter, go away from that Maimed Matziv and do a mitzvah begashmis b'pel mamish, because this is what I want. Just like a tzaddik has to say Baruch Shem, to go away from Yechudei Allah to the Madrega of Yechudei Tatah to the Mekayim Mitzvah of Hashem, a Yid who's in the Madrega of Lamayla Megeder Al Tachten goes away from that level to do a Mitzvah Begashmis, because this is what Hashem wants. And the same is true in Yid Melchavim B'Shem. Right, we have a sugya called Eilav Al Eilav Midesav. The Pasha that Taich Eilav Al Eilav Midesav is, you have to know the Kavanah of the Shemus. The deeper Taich of Eilav Al Eilav Midesav means that you're davening like Chana. Shvichas HaNefesh, Hishtapchas HaNefesh. And when you're davening in this Madrege, so then you don't have to know Kavanas of the Shemus. Und then noch sagt man dir, even if you're such a high Madrege, and you're dealing with such high in Yonim, that for you, a lover Leili Medesav means Atzmos, or like I told you, the Rebbe has in a Sikha someplace, that the Baal Shem Tov is called the Baal Shem, but with shame. Not the Shemus, meaning the Midas, like we normally say. Or Baal Shem, a Shem of Atzmos Amhus, you say to such a tzaddik, you're davening Shemon Esrei. You come to the Baruch Atachene, you should be mechaben the Shem Havai with patachs. He doesn't have the kavan of Shemus. The Eibishter wants kavan of Shemus. Why does the Eibishter want kavan of Shemus? Because the Eibishter wants, to use the Lashon HaChassidus Kabbalah, the Eibishter wants shuv. He doesn't want shuv only from people who live in Elam Hazeh. The Eibishter wants shuv from such neshamas that have no shaychus to this world. And shuv means you have to have a kavanah. That doesn't just mean that the world and the Eibishter are one. You have to have a kavanah where you bring the Eibishter down. So this is sort of, speak, a third point, right? If the first point is Eilav Aleilim B'Deisav Yed L'Chavim B'Shem. If the second point is Eilav Aleilim B'Deisav, a Yid holding by Mesiras Nefesh, so there's no kavanah B'Shemus. The third point is, even if you're in such a high level, that you don't need Yed L'Chavim B'Shem. Because your kavanah is Lamhusev Atzmusi Yisbarach Mamish. I'm reading the words inside. Kameshu Lamayla Misapish B'Mideisav. V'huinyin Mitzvahs Krishma Shekadma L'Tfila. You say to such a Yid, step away from Krishma, which is Mesiras Nefesh, come into Shemon Esrei, and forgive my grobkeit. Ask the Eibishter for refuah. Ask the Eibishter for parnasa. A Yid halt by Mesiras Nefesh. What's better wegen refuah? 1 second. Pardon me. A Yid halt by Mesiras Nefesh. What's better wegen refuah? What's wegen parnasa? Me and you, we're stuck in these narishkeit. But a Yid is holding by Mesiras Nefesh. What are you telling him to ask the Eibishter for parnasa? What are you telling him to ask the Eibishter for? You know what the teretz is? Because that's what the Eibishter wants. The Eibishter wants that a Yid should be mechaven b'shem. And the kavanah of the shame should bring down atachenu l'adam das. And atachenu das. Reife chele yami yisro. And mevarech hashorim. In other words, dafke eir bekeli. That's what the Eibishter wants. The Eibishter wants that we should ask, and the Eibishter should give us panos. The Eibishter wants that we should ask, and the Eibishter should give us the refuah. Why? Because that brings Hashem down. So a Yid who's completely above such cheshbonis, who's holding in a level of Eilav Aleilim Deisav means Atzmos, is given a mitzvah to daven to bring the Eibishter into the world. Now I want you to look inside. I want you to do me a favor. Page 234. It's 4 lines from the end of the perek. Okay, page 234. Yeah. So this. V'hu in mitzvahs krishma shekadma l'tfil. Before a Yid davens, please look inside. He says krishma. And what's krishma? Krishma is Eilav Aleilim B'Deisav L'Musa Mitzvah Yisbarach. And then the Rebbe says, "Ve'efshe," to be sure. The truth of the matter is, shegam b'tefillah yesh lekavan kain. It's true that even in Shemona Esrei, you could say that there's a kavana to atzmos. How? Ba'omrei barach atah Hashem atah hainu l'mahusei v'atzmosei yizbarich k'moshu terem eslapshusei b'mideisav. The kavana, the mekubalim, yeah? When the mekubalim speak about kavana, which word is the kavana? Havaya. The Eibishter's name. Every time you make a bracha, before you say havaya, you say atah. Atah du. You, that's Atah du atzmus hus. The Eibishter himself, Harei sa'adzich ba'visit, revealed himself, Ladas as mir zal them wissen. Right? This is the famous word from Alten Rebbe. So now wait. So first of all, you know the Sipur. You know the story. I told it to you already. What's the story? That the Adatz was 12 before Bar Mitzvah. And his father was a Peretz. And the Peretz was the Chshuvi Achsidim. The Peretz Chain saw 6 Rabbeim. It's pretty remarkable. The Peretz Poshet knew the Alter Rebbe well. The Alter Rebbe was nostalgic. The Peretz was around 15 or 16 years old. He was a bocher. He may have been married. He was a goner. There was an Eloi, the Peretz. And he saw the Friedrich Rebbe when the Friedrich Rebbe was a little boy. But by Alter Rebbe Tigalerent, in other words, he had a connection to the Alter Rebbe, a connection to the Mittel Rebbe, a connection to the Tzemach Tzedek, a connection to the Rebbe Marash, a connection to the Rebbe Rashab. Pnimizike connections. The Rebbe Dayatz, Kayachal gven a kind. The Peretz. And the Peretz had a son who was a Godel Shebe Gedelim, he was Radatz. And the Radatz was Mamish Ben Skunim. When the Radatz was born, the Peretz was in his 40s. He was probably the youngest of his kids. And the Radatz was a Goan Oilam. The Radatz was a Tzaddik and a Goan. A Tzaddik Kipshute, a Tzaddik from Tanya. And he brought him to Lubavitch. And he brought him into the Rebbe the Tzemach Tzedek. And the Tzemach before Bar Mitzvah. The Tzemach Tzedek hem gesagt azoi. It's in the Siches. Wer ois yingel. Stop being a child. Adu vezogen Baruch Atah. When you say Baruch Atah, sollst du wissen, wer men Atah meint. You say Atah, you should know who Atah is. That was the word. Stop being a little bit. Don't be a kid. Don't be a child. When you say Baruch Atah, you should know who Atah means. You should know who Atah is. This is what Tzemach Tzedek told. The Radatz took the Tzemach Tzedek's words literally, and for the rest of his life, every time he made a bracha, he would put his hand on his head for a moment and think, who's Atah? And of course, the end of the story was that the king, he was Rav in Chernovitz, in Chernigiv, in Chernigov. The Melech, the Kesed, the Tsar of Russia came to Chernigiv, it was a big city. And everybody came out. Mistama, you know that Amalek Tzait needs to come out to the Melech with a Sefer Torah, and then they stopped him and they started. It was a whole thing. The king used to come, it was a whole ceremony. So Radatz was standing at the head of the delegation of the Kehillah Kadisha of Chernigiv as the Rav. The king marches by and he starts screaming. Starts to scream, they arrest him, they put him in jail. What's the Gishriin? It was the first time in his life he made the bracha shecholok mekvedi lebasav adam. And by the way, there's words after that, sometimes that are not so. He made a bracha. He got excited. So the lawyer came to the judge and said, you don't understand, this screaming was the greatest covet. He was giving a bracha to the Eibishter that there's a melech. And he got so his rakshas, they took him shrine. It all goes back to the Atah. When he was 12 years old, the Tzemach Tzedek told him, when you say Atah, you should know who Atah is. Who's Atah? Atah is you. Atah is not a shame. Right? Atah is you. Atah could be anybody. So of course, you've all learned Chassidus, that the Atah of Baruch Atah is very similar to the Lefanecha of Meidani Lefanecha. That it says in Chassidus, that the Eibishter himself doesn't have a name. Or we're learning it in this Maimer. The names of the Eibishter are Kfi Masai. The names of the Eibishter Kva Yachal do with the Spheres Namidas. Alakuz which is Labish Namidas. But Atzmasam Hus doesn't have a name. So if you want to talk to Atzmasam Hus, what's his name? When you're talking to Atzmasam Hus, his name is Oibershter. Or Ata, Du. Or Ani, or Anoichi, or Who. Words that are not specific to Alakuz, they're not Shemes. What's the word? They're not proper names. Their names, Atah could mean a person also. So when you say Atah, Atah is higher than Havaya. Havaya is the name of the Eibishter, and it's a Ma'aseh mit Kavanas. Atah is Atzmasam Hus. So the Tzemach Tzedek says, first of all, in Krishma, you're talking to him who say Vatzmusi is Baruch Moshe Lamayim Aslapis V'Mideisav. Second of all, even in Shemini Esrei, you have Muhusei Vasmusi Yisbarach Mamish Meshulu Messiah B'Teisav. And what's that? That's the word Ata. Right? Look inside. The Ata Hainu, 3 lines from the end of the paragraph. Muhusei Vasmusei Kameshahu Tere Mislapshusei B'Mides. Because shame. Hameira love. There's no name which could mean Atzmos Rak Ba'omre Ata L'Neichach. When you're talking to the Eibishter, you call him you. You don't say, hey, you. That would be a little bit insulting. You. Why do you call the Eibishter you? Because there's no other denotation. And then the Chazal came along. And they gave you a mitzvah. To daven. And to be mechavim b'shemis. Go weiter. V'havayehu. Then there's Shem Havayeh. K'meishu mislabish achakach b'midah. Havaya means the ata du atzmus comes down into a midah. Shebebracha hahu. That in the bracha of, for example, ata choinin, it's Shem Havaya b'niket patach b'chochma. That when you're saying the bracha of ata choinin, you have to be mechaven to the patach, which is chochma, and then the next bracha, which is tzedek, which is bina. Bina is connected to tshuva, like it says in Kabbalah's Sfarim. This is not the pratim and negiyah. But what is the Rebbe saying here? In other words, what am I adding in today's class over Thursday's class? And I'm reading it in the words. What I'm adding in today's class over Thursday's class is as follows. In Thursday's class, the mashmos was that the need for lechavim b'shem is only a chassan. Since I'm not holding in a madrege of Chana, to daven like Chana, and again, to use the mushal, since I'm not holding in a madrege of L'mayla Megeder Eliyah V'tachten, so there had to be a bit like Zayda. That's one way to look at it, but there's another way to look at it. The Eibishter says to the Ruzhiner, the Eibishter says to the Baal Shem Tov, you know what the Baal Shem Tov said? I heard it from the Rebbe myself, but the Baal Shem Tov, the Rebbe said it come upon him. You know, when I say things, when you say things, it's a big deal. But when the Rebbe says things, it's fire. The Rebbe said that the Baal Shem Tov said that every time he finishes davening and remains in a Neshama B'guf, it's a nes. I'll say it one more time, and this time pay attention. The Rebbe said that the Baal Shem Tov said that every time he finishes davening and he's still physically alive, it's a nes. What's the pshat in this word? The pshat in this word is v'chai b'hem v'leish yomas b'hem. The Eibishter created people to remain in a Neshama B'guf. Now, imagine you're such a yid that every time you daven, you can have Kalei Nefesh. So staying alive is the Heipech Hatnu of Kalei Nefesh, and it's higher than the Kalei Nefesh. Why? Because that's what the Eibishter wants. The same is true here. You're a yid that's L'mayla Megeder Eliyah V'tachten. You don't need a mountain Torah. Zok men dir, do a mitzvah. Because this is what the Eibishter wants. In other words, Bittul HaGzeira is not just because of a chasar. Bittul HaGzeira is even for those people who didn't need Bittul HaGzeira. For them also the Eibishter is mevatel the Gezeira. Because the Eibishter has the kavanah of Shuv. Leiloteyu b'rolah, shevis yitzara teiru mitzvahs. And the same is true here in the kavanah. We need a kavanah, Eilav Elimi Deisav, he's not going to listen to us. What if you're the Baditchev Rav, you do the Sipur and the Niggen? Whenever he comes, the doors are open for him. And whatever he asks for, he gets. He doesn't have to have gone to B'Shemis. So the Eibishter says about Ditchev I know that you're holding in the Madrega of Ato. I know that you're holding in the Madrega of Mehusev, but Musi is Baruch Michel Mamas Abshid B'Mideisav. And I am telling you, go down from this level. And daven Shemini Esrei. And when you say Havayeh, Ato means Atmas Mus. When we say Havayeh, Zay Mechavim B'Shem, to bring down Eretz Kelim. And I want you to understand, Baruch Atah Hashem has words after it. Chenin Ados. Reitze B'Tshuva. Chanan Amar B'L'Slayach. Geil Yisrael. Reife, Chele, Yama Yisrael. Mevarach Hashonim. That's what the Eibishter wants. The Eibishter wants that the Yidden who are completely above these kinds of ideas should engage in these kind of ideas because the Eibishter wants to be brought down. So what I'm trying to say is that Eilav Aleilam Medeis of Yedem Lachavim B'Shem is not only a chasad, it's a kavanah. So you have 3 things, 3 madregas. A person who needs Eilav Aleilam Medeis of Yedem Lachavim B'Shem, a Yid who's higher than Eilav Aleilam Medeis of, and a Yid who is higher than Eilav Aleilam Medeis of, who lowers himself to be Mechavim B'Shem because the Eibishter wants it. Okay? Questions or comments? The Mai says, I did not prepare today's sheet. I'm going to go to my other computer. It'll take me 5 minutes. 5 minutes. And you'll have some questions. And you'll be able to do the sheet. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm late. So I'll do it right now. Okay, give me 5 minutes. I'm about to look at the sheet. Okay? Somebody nod that you're going to be nice to me about this. I appreciate